What's up, wrestling fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, the co-host of the Wayback Wrestling Mania podcast. Here with a look at the Mattel Ultimate Edition figure of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and the Elite Series 97 figure of Alexa Bliss. I recently got the Fiend online for a considerable discount. And I got Alexa Bliss with the help of my collecting buddy, Baby Ox 78 on TikTok. Thank you very much, Baby Ox, for helping me get this figure. And with no further ado, let's take a look at the packaging details now. Let's start with a look at Alexa Bliss. Here is the front of the package. We get this artwork of Alexa Bliss. There she is inside the package, and I really like the placement of the Lily accessory. On the side, we get this artwork of Alexa Bliss. On the opposite side, it says Alexa Bliss with the authentic hologram. Product information on the bottom, a partial window on the top. On the back bottom, we see the other wrestlers who have figures in this wave. And on the top, we get this really cool action shot of Alexa Bliss. Here's a closer look at that action shot as well as the biographical information. Now let's have a look at the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. On the front bottom, you see the Ultimate Edition logo in the silver foil lettering. On the side, there is a shot of the Fiend. On the opposite side, it says the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Product information on the bottom. Not very much on the top. On the back, we get a product shot as well as an action shot of the Fiend. And here's a closer look at the biographical information on the back bottom. While I do like the Ultimate Edition packaging usually, I don't like the fact in this case that so much of the space is dedicated to the accessories and the figure is placed off to the side. And now it's time to bust these figures out of the packages and see what's inside. Here are the figures free of the outer packaging, but still in the inner plastic. And here we see the Fiend and Alexa Bliss out of the packages and ready to terrorize the ring. Since I'm a huge fan of both of these wrestlers, especially as a pair, I am very happy to own both of these figures. However, I do think that each one has some specific issues, so let's get a closer look at the loose details now. I'll get to the other accessories later, but we have to start with a look at Lily. And this doll is exceptionally creepy, and Mattel was able to capture that expertly here. I'm assuming this is what the back of Lily looks like. I've actually never seen the back of the doll. But all of this paint detail here on the front is just magnificent. That is so much detail for a small area. Another cool feature of this accessory is that Lily's head turns side to side. The Alexa figure is very sturdy, as you can see here. There's plenty of detail here on the lower body. The words play and pain run throughout her ring attire. Lots of good sculpting on the boots here. You can see all of this magnificent paint detail. And I really like how the fishnets have been done. They are painted. Also, the knee pads move. Altogether, I think these are really accurate, so I'm very appreciative of the work Mattel put in here. Now let's have a look at the upper body. And there's good definition here in the abdominal area. There's so much sculpting on the top area of the ring attire. You can see all of these straps that run around the upper part of her torso. The paint applications are magnificent here, and you can see how all of these little straps look like they have those snaps in them, as well as the chains here that run across the chest area. That looks very realistic. She also has the little gloves that say play on one side. And as I alluded to before, they say pain on the other side. So the details are very intricate. I really appreciate that. Now let's get a look at the head sculpt. Mattel did a superb job at capturing Alexa's likeness. You can see how pliable this hair is. That allows you to see more of the head sculpt here. They captured the black eyeliner, the face paint. I will say that the back of the hair here is a little less pliable than I thought it would be, although they did get the pink tips. But this expression is spot on for this version of Alexa's gimmick. In terms of articulation, there is a hinge here at the ankle. Mine are especially tight, but she has movement here at the top of the boot. Again, the knee pads move. You can move those down a little. She has double jointed knees, and that will allow you to get her into a nice running pose. She also has the quadricep swivel, as you can see here, and that will give you posing options. Here's a look at the inside of that double jointed knee. In terms of hip articulation, you can get her nearly into a full split. She also steps back more than I thought she would, so I'm very happy about that. And she kicks forward this far, so I am very happy with this level of articulation for this figure. The waist pivots from side to side. She has this upper torso swivel that moves fairly well. You can get her to rock back that far, and you can get her to crunch forward that much. The arms go up and out from the sides this much, and you can get them to rotate outward. And she has the double jointed elbows, and those are very helpful in getting her into that pose where she puts her hands underneath her chin. I really appreciate being able to recreate that pose. And you can get her arms to go out and back this much. There's standard movement at the wrists, as you can see. If there is one area that is a little substandard, it is the head. Now, you can get her to move from side to side fairly easily, although I would take care with the ends of the hair. But there's very little movement up and down, and you really can't get her to tilt her head very much. So I certainly think Mattel could have made improvements in this area. And here's a closer look at those open palm hands. Now let's look at the Fiend. He is also a sturdy figure. Lots of wonderful paint detail on this figure. I really like the choice of red, and the stripes look really good here. The texturing on the tights is magnificent, as are all of the wrinkles that are sculpted into the boots. Here's a look at the upper body, and I feel like this is slightly too bulky. Although it's true that this particular attire is thicker than some of the other attires that Bray Wyatt wore, I feel like Mattel has done Bray Wyatt torsos better on other figures. Again, I do like all of the texturing here. You can see these laces underneath each arm, and I really appreciate that. The paint applications are very exact. But I really have to give Mattel credit for both of the head sculpts. They are absolutely spot on. The detail on these is astounding. From the hair to the paint applications to the sculpting on the mask, they hit the center of the target. In terms of articulation, this figure has the midfoot hinge, as is standard with Ultimate Edition figures. There's some ankle pivoting. Both of the boots swivel back and forth at the top, as you can see demonstrated here. Double jointed knees, so if you'd like to get him into a running pose, you do have that option. There's the quadriceps swivel here. Of course, that means that the stripes no longer line up. Now, in terms of hip articulation, this is where the figure is a little disappointing. As you can see, he can step back a little, and he can kick forward this much, which is adequate, but I feel like Ultimate Edition figures should have better articulation, and you can only get the legs to move out to the side that much. The figure pivots back and forth at the waist. The upper torso swivels, as you can see demonstrated here. You can get him to rock back that much, and he only crunches forward that far, so that's also a little disappointing. There's good movement at the wrist joints. He has double jointed elbows, so if you want to get him into a really good elbow dropping pose, you have that option. The arms move out from the torso this far, so I'm pretty impressed by that, and you can get them to rotate out and back. The head articulation is better than I expected with all of this hair. As you can see, he looks up and down well. You can get the head to tilt, and he moves side to side easily, so I was very pleased here. Now let's take a look at the jacket and the alternate set of arms. Here I have popped out the arms and popped off the head sculpt. Here's the set of arms that go with the jacket. And here's the Fiend with the alternate head sculpt and the open palm hands. The jacket really doesn't hinder the articulation of the torso or the arms any further. And these double jointed elbows are very helpful in getting him into a good, emotionally expressive pose, as you can see here. You can actually get his hands to meet, and I'm very pleased with that. This head sculpt also moves very well without popping off, just like the other head sculpt. So Mattel did an excellent job with both of the heads on this figure. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this review. If so, please like and subscribe. Once again, I'd like to thank Baby Ox for helping me add Alexa Bliss to my collection. Make sure to check out Baby Ox on TikTok for a plethora of cool collecting videos as well as toy giveaways. As for me, I'll be back to the internet with more pro wrestling related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.